It's time for Richard's Roundtable and the IP in the news segment. So please, Elizabeth, who is on the chopping block tonight?
Well, Amazon has a patent application that they filed. So it hasn't issued as a patent yet. They're fighting it through the patent office still. They'll probably get it allowed. They also filed it, what's called a PCT application, which means that they can file in a bunch of different countries in Europe when they're ready to. It's basically robotic arms that throw packages around.
So is this like invented by teenage boys? I mean, is this like you're just getting this big visual of walking into an Amazon warehouse with this packages just flying all over the place?
Well, yeah, they do have like package detection systems so they don't crash into each other.
That's amazing.
It's just, and they have this picture and it shows one like getting thrown into a truck somehow. I don't know.
Well, so, I mean, I can just imagine like if you have a employee who's having a bad day or something, you threaten to throw packages at them, right? Until they get their act back together. So, but if they're doing it, there must be a good reason for it, right? And so,
I guess it takes the place of conveyor belts or something. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway.
Well, if you ever happen to be having a slow moment, you want to entertain yourself, go look up this patent application, and it's got this big robotic arm holding a package. It's sort of like, like Shrek. Sorry about that. Shrek holding a basketball. It's like a pretty funny looking picture. So anyway. It's
I don't know.
Time for the round table now. So Jody, what do you think about all this? And do you have any comments or questions about intellectual property?
Well, I think probably Amazon is the person to want to throw packages around since they do a lot of deliveries and such. I wonder, actually, I'm curious if that patent would also allow them to use drones in order to deliver packages. Or is it just within their warehouse using arms?
That's a good question. Maybe they use this to throw the drones into the air with the packages. You could have two technologies at once.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I want Amazon coming into my home without me being there. So I don't know.
They have like automatic newspaper throwers, right? If, they throw newspapers out on the driveway. So maybe that's how they're going to deliver packages in the future.
They better be much more wrapped if they're going to be doing that.
Yeah,
that's what she was saying earlier too. We were talking about this. I'm like, well, lots of times Amazon overpacks. Like they put like one tiny thing with a bunch of bubble wrap in a box that is like 5 times too big, and then
get silly.
And you're like, oh, I got this big thing, and then you open it up, and it's like, oh, it's cat food, and it's in a little space. So I don't know. Anyway,
on we go.
So Kenya, do you have any thoughts about this?
Well, things like this are cool, but it always worries me that it's going to replace humans, right? And I was actually in Sam's Club a couple of weeks ago doing some shopping, and I saw a robot that was stocking the shelves, and it was detecting who was in the store. So it kind of reminded me a little bit of this. So I was like, it's cool, but I don't know. It's like we're going into that whole I am robot era.
The only problem is they always break down. I mean,
right.
You always have to have a human come and fix them, unless they can train robots to fix them. But
but
you're right.
That's a good point. I think I see that in my local grocery store too, and I always I don't see it restocking shelves, but it's just like kind of wandering around watching me.
They have this weird robot thing in our grocery store that just floats, like it wheels around and gets in the way and everything. And it's like, what is it for? I guess it's looking for spills. I don't know.
It's your robot overlords. Checking
I think
that's what it is.
Yeah, when they start saying, "Yep, can't buy that, too fatty," you have too much junk food in your cart.
Then we should be worried.
So, Miriam, what are your thoughts about all of this?
I love innovation. So for me, I think about it in a way. I tend to go. I love the idea that it might prevent injury, because when you do talk about throwing around packages and these, right away, I think about jobs in the past that used to be very dangerous for people. I think, wow, you know what? This is going to be a safety, it's an innovative way to help promote safety for the future. I think change is always difficult for people. We know that change is very difficult for people, but I like it. I like
Well,
it.
that's a wonderful point. And I imagine that's part of the reason they're doing it is they want to reduce accidents and bad backs and all of those kinds of things that
Lifting
that's
heavy
true.
things, right?
Go
Then
with
humans
lifting.
don't have to do it.
When I heard you
That's
say
great.
throwing things around, that's the first thing as a mom that comes to my mind is like, oh, someone's going to get hurt, doing that.
Well, I do
You're gonna
have to
poke your eye out.
I do have to say, we do have a dumbwaiter in our house that goes from the garage to the kitchen for groceries. And I'll tell you, we didn't know that if we would use it that much. We use it multiple times every day.
Yeah, it's not a person. It's actually a little, not a dumb waiter.
They know what a dumbwaiter is. It's a miniature elevator.
I didn't know one was until you said you wanted it.
Okay.
So
Anyway, let's keep going.
I had to look it up on the internet, and there's not a lot of dumbwaiter references, by the way. So who's left? Monica, please contribute to this conversation.
Sure. I mean, I don't think this surprises me at all. This is the way of the future. Kenya brought up the robot in the grocery stores, but there's also robots. Actually, I just saw in celebrity chef Kathy Fang's restaurant in San Francisco, there is a robot waiter that brings the food to the table.
Oh my.
And there's also so many startups that are working on automation in the grocery store as well, like in the actual, the stock in the back and the inventory and picking and pulling. Drones, they're 100% coming to Amazon. That's definitely in the future. So this is right in line. I'm actually just kind of, surprised it took this long, maybe.
Wow. Yeah.
If you follow Elon Musk, I think says that, so many jobs will be replaced by robots. So again, I think that this is just, right on line with where we're headed.
Yeah, maybe we can get robots to do all the work and we can just chill out all the time. That sounds like a pretty good to me. So,
well, someone needs to fix the robots, right? Like there's all sorts of jobs that will be created because of this too. It's just there'll be different jobs. That's all.
Yeah.
Robots will fix the robots.
Then we can look forward to,
Right.
Then it'll be our robot overlords. Careful of that one.
Well, yeah, but if they work on wireless signals, then anybody could hack them at any time. So
yeah, a robot could end up throwing an Amazon employee across the warehouse. That would not be good. So,
well, I think it's interesting because I don't think everything will be able to be replaced by robot. Even when you mention the servers, I think that's interesting because that personal touch when you go out to eat, things like that, I'm not so sure it's going to be so easily replaceable. Certain things, I think the human touch is still necessary. Although I'm sure some robots are going to be very human-like, but
I don't know.
There's a lot of. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say that there's a lot of talk of synthetic voices. So that again is IP in the aspect of that's my intellectual property. And I don't want anyone taking that without my consent. And there's a lot of cloning and text to speech and all of this stuff that's going on right now too. And it's kind of the Wild West right now. I've been working with a company called Open Voice Network, which is sponsored by Linux, and they're doing a lot of studies on this and talking about it, ethical considerations, and working out contracts between software engineers and voice actors and stuff like that. So there's like all of this, it's all coming. We know it's coming. We just need to be able to protect ourselves, make sure that it's ethically done. And whether it's robots in the grocery stores or people cloning voices, you need to be aware of the legal ramifications and everything that goes along with that.
That makes me think of a question for Richard. Richard, can someone trademark or patent the use of their voice?
That would probably be more in line with copyright protection. I think trademark, you can trademark sounds, but they tend to be short and associated with a different brand. I think copyright protection would probably be the avenue that people would pursue. And then obviously if there's technology behind generating the voice, that may be protectable with a patent. So, but interesting question. I mean, this is kind of the Wild West from a legal perspective as well. All of these new innovations, haven't really been thought through, and there's not a lot of clear answers on them.